and littering and smoking the reefer. Hello, you beautiful bearded bastards. My name is Ted, and you've just entered the motherfucking Wrestling Exchange. We're excited to have you. I'm excited to see you. Everybody's happy. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got Raw, June 29, 2015. We got the lead up to WWE Battleground. We got all sorts of stuff to talk about that. But before we do, I want to bring on my co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, he is...
Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Popo, chilling in the cut. We got an awesome show for you tonight, so my boy's going to hit you with a few disclaimers. And don't worry about the links. He did the work for you. So, Ted, break them off a little something, something.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. That's a thing that happens when you go live. Listen, what this is a passionate conversation between two wrestling fans, two guys that have nothing better to do during a weeknight to watch wrestling and then to talk about it. We're going to give our opinions. We're going to go through Raw. We're going to go segment by segment, talk about things we liked, talk about things we didn't like. We're going to talk about storylines, matches, angles. We're going to talk about, you know what, at the end we got a segment. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly. All sorts of good stuff we're going to get into. But first, just a couple of quick things. If you enjoy what you see here, right? If you find it all mildly entertaining, if you think my blue eyes are incredibly sexy, if you think us beautiful bearded bastards are wonderful, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. It really helps us out. And if you don't like us, click the thumbs down button. But you know what? Don't be that guy. Like us anyway. While you're at it, click the subscribe button. What that does is that gives you an email every time we put up a video, because we don't have a set day yet. We're still working on things. We don't have a set day, set time. It happens when it happens. But if you subscribe, you'll get an email. It'll let you know right away when the show goes live, hey, these bastards are on and they got a video just for you. Also, Twitter is a thing. And if you follow us on Twitter, you know that I'm not really good at it, and I only post when it's time to put up a new video. So I'll tell you what. Go on to Twitter. Go on the Twitter machine, tweet at Ted and Popo. Tell me things. Show me how to use this Twitter thing, because I don't know. Technology is not my strong point. Also, comment on the video. As I said, we're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about our favorite matches, good things, bad things, everything's in between. So why don't you go ahead and chime in with your opinion, what you think about Raw. Was it a good Raw? Was it a bad Raw? Tell us about your favorite match. All sorts of things. Do it right now or do it later. But whatever you do, just make sure you do it. Lastly, Papa, we have a Facebook page, do we not?
Yes, we do.
Every once in a while, we put stuff up on the Facebook page. So while you're at it, go to the Facebook page. Oh, shit. You know what, Papa? We have an email address, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So, so you can go to www. See how old I am? I put the W's, the World Wide Web. See? Go to gmail.com. Send an email to tedandpopo@gmail.com. And I know what you're thinking. Ted, is it the word and spelled out? Is it the symbol? Well, you beautiful motherfucker, I did the work all for you. All you got to do, see the description box below? Click it. There's all sorts of shit. Everything I mentioned, everything I have yet to mention. It's all there. Go there. Click it. Do it. Done. Last thing. Because this is a passionate conversation between two lifelong wrestling fans, bad language, if you haven't noticed already, is a thing that happens here. So bad language, four-letter words, sexual innuendos, things that are just maybe not appropriate for peoples under the age of 18. These are all things that fly here. And if you're not down with that, my man's got 2 words for you.
Nasty ass.
Boom. Popo, how was that for one hell of an intro?
That was immaculate. Give this man an award.
Boom. Full disclosure, I'm drinking a little much tonight, so this might be a thing. So, Papa, you ready to dive all sorts of balls deep into Monday Night Raw, June 29?
Balls deep. Here it comes.
Oh, man, we're going to be busting all kinds of Raw nuts. All right. So this week, Raw was live, filmed in Washington, D.C., and basically the show starts off with your typical, 15-minute opening promo segment, but instead we actually are treated to, I'm going to say, Papa, could we call this The Price is Right or The Price is Raw?
The Price is Raw.
basically Seth Rollins comes out, and in the aftermath of last week, where him and his authority goons beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar, he's basically celebrating. Kane gets a vacation to Hawaii. J&J get a new car. Papo, did you notice that Kane doesn't get a +1 for that vacation? It's only a vacation for one.
Cheap ass Rollins. He wins a trip to Hawaii.
Hey, at least he'll get laid when he get here. But that, we're going to talk about the fact that Rollins basically pretends like he's not afraid, right? He's like, listen, I got this Brock Lesnar shit in the bag. I'm not even worried. He said he took a trip down to Suplex City and he burned it down. And he gives them iWatches. Oh, wait. Don't dare call it an iWatch. Papo, I believe it's an Apple Watch.
It's an iWatch. Apple Watch. I don't give a fuck.
So J&J get a brand new Cadillac, and that was pretty much that, right? Like Seth Rollins rewarding his cronies for doing his dirty work, right? Kind of like reestablishing, hey, we're on the same page again. Papa, what were your overall thoughts about this segment, aside from simply saying that Raw is Price is Raw?
Well, let me tell you, that Cadillac CTS was beautiful. Awesome ride. And if you get a chance to test drive, I highly recommend it.
Can you get it in black? I'm not feeling that red.
Oh, yeah, it comes in black. It comes in assorted colors. Kind of like Skittles.
Skittles don't come in black. Oh, shit. What do you think about that trip to Hawaii and the Apple Watches?
Well, I did also notice that it was no +1 on there. So Kane can't bring his boyfriend. So.
Or his brother. I'm sure Undertaker would like to go to Hawaii. Do you think this is effective enough in basically are these acceptable rewards for his cohorts? Is it enough? Is it too much?
I don't think it's too much. I think he just didn't do enough. I mean, he could have showered them more to kiss more ass, if you will.
Oh shit, if you will. You know what? I have a theory, and you're a married man. You have kids. I'm a married man. I'm about to have a kid. Let's talk about setting the bar low. Because I tell my friends this and they don't believe me. If you're in a relationship and you're giving gifts, you want to set the bar low. Because you got to meet birthday, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Christmas, anniversary. Anywhere from 4 to 5 times a year, you got to get them gifts. So I've always said, set the bar low, and that way you can always rise above a little bit. Start with a DVD, right, or a candy bar, real low. and then you can be in it a long haul. Maybe you get him 2 candy bars for Christmas. I don't know. Papo, is he blowing his load too fast, or are they going to think more of him? Should he giving him back rubs? What the fuck?
A premature ejaculator.
Boom. What do you think about Big Show coming out at the end of that segment? Because it's like, well, the Big Show. Big Show comes out, and I think he's going to like get involved. But was that just them being like, hey, you guys are fucking out of time. We got to have the next match? Because he just nonchalantly walks down to the ring. What the fuck is that about?
I think his big ass went out there just to see if he was going to get a gift. Fucking stingy big motherfucker.
He's like, I was part of the authority too, bitches. Mm-hmm. What do you get, Big Show?
You can't put on the iWatch.
That's like a ring. All right, so let's talk about this abomination that is
an eye ring.
An eye ring. Let's talk about the abomination that is Big Show versus Mark Henry. So we have to. I told the people we'd go segment by segment. I'm not a liar. So long as they know. So far as they know. So just a couple of quick points I wanted to go over, and then we can just jaw-jack about it and then move on. Miz joined the commentary team. Miz is not bad on commentary. I kind of enjoy it. What do you think?
He definitely got the mic skills, and he knows how to commentate very well. I'll give that to him, and he's really good. Spot on with moves. Spot on with comedic nippets, if you will.
If you will, I can dig it. I might start buying Miz T-shirts from now on. He's really growing on me. So let's talk about the actual match, right? Because there's not much that happened. It was over God, I want to say less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was less than 3 minutes.
So, I'm sorry.
A pizza roll commercial was faster.
Totino's Pizza Roll, or whatever the fuck they are. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime. Big Show basically makes short work here of Mark Henry, wins with a KO punch. So, Papo, you know what I got from all this?
Please tell me.
They're trying to reestablish that Big Show was a bad motherfucker. You know where they went wrong with this?
From day one?
Well, two things, right? And I'm going to bounce it off of you, and I want to know what your take is on this. Number one, he's fucking giant. So you don't have to kind of establish, you don't have to make him look strong because he's 7 foot, 500 or 450 pounds, whatever the fuck. That's number one. Number two, nobody gives a fuck about Big Show. Papo, I'm going to ask you a question. When was the last time you really gave a fuck about something Big Show did? You were actually invested in something that revolved around the Big Show.
When Kevin Nash powerbombed him on his neck.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so that was longer. Okay, so I picked something with a little bit more recent history than that. I'm going to say WrestleMania 24, right? Big Show versus Floyd Money Mayweather. That was the last time I gave a fuck about the Big Show.
No, I didn't give a fuck about him then either.
Really?
Really.
That's a sleeper WrestleMania match. People sleep on that match too much. That match is surprisingly good. But yeah, so here's how I look at it, right? The concept is, Big Show needs to look strong because being 7 feet tall and 450 pounds somehow just doesn't translate. And it would be different if we had a reason to care. But we don't have a reason to care because I've seen Brock Lesnar bitch his ass out like 5 times in the past 2 years. I really don't give a fuck, right? He's just a big crybaby, and that's a part of his character. Big Show fucking cries and bitches, and he's a good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. I couldn't give a fuck. It's like they have an incredible talent in Big Show, right? Here's a guy who's legitimately a giant. He's legitimately the world's largest athlete. He can work better than Khali. He's a great talker. He's just good at everything he does, but the problem is I don't think it's so much as it's overexposure so much as that we're not given a reason to give a shit, and they're not using him well. I would say, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, Papo, I think he should be the new Gorilla Monsoon, except in reverse, because you know how Gorilla Monsoon always had that bias towards the good guys.
Yeah.
You can put him in the Gorilla Monsoon spot. You swap him out with JBL, and he could be that giant commentator with ring experience, except, in the opposite way, he just has a bias towards the bad guys. I would love it. I think a Big Show commentary would be very, very interesting. Now, do you want to talk about the good shit that came after the match?
Yes, please.
All right, so Ryback runs down the ramp, and he's like, yo, Big Show, feed me more, bitch. And then he kicks Big Show's ass, kind of, sort of, and then Miz kicks him in the face and runs away. And then Ryback gets on the mic and says that since he's supposed to have a match with Miz anyway later in the night, he demands that they fight right now. And you know what happens?
What happens?
It's Monday night fight night in the Impact Zone. They fight right then and there after wait.
All you needed was a crescendo.
I'm being told by the judges that Fight Night is specifically a TNA thing, or was since they're losing their TV deal. That's what the judges are telling me.
Bum, bum, bum.
So we get Ryback versus Miz. Do you want to talk about this match, or do you want to just keep it simple and move on?
Well, I think you should just at least give them the lowdown on who won and how they won.
Well, that's
which
what I mean.
Shitty.
All right, so basically, as soon as Ryback gets going, he drops the motherfucking straps like a badass and goes for the meat hook clothesline, and Miz runs away like a little bitch and loses by countout, which is great because it continues to work on the concept that Big Show's a badass, Ryback's a badass, but Miz is a bitch and he's a coward and he'll run away from a fight because he's a bad guy, right? And he's a coward and he's a chicken shit and that's what he's good for. Now, do you want to talk about the sleeper match of the night? Probably easily second to third best match on the card this evening.
Well, let's get balls deep into this Divas match.
I'd like to get balls deep in all 4 of them at the same time. How do you think about that?
I concur.
I have 4 dicks, and I will put a dick in each and every one of them. Actually, you know what? I have 8 dicks, 1 for each vagina and 1 for each ass. Oh my God. Beautiful. Never goes outside and gets a tan. Paige versus my crazy bitch, Alicia Fox. I love these 2 women. I would eat with those chopsticks all day, all night. And the Bella twins are there, and that's great too. Papo, why don't you tell the people about the match? And because it had to be like a solid, what, like 8 minutes?
Yeah, but you know how hashtag give divas a chance. They always got to put that commercial in there.
Oh, man, I
Always.
fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. So let's talk about that, right? So, like, going into this match, you're like, oh, man, this is going to be a snoozer. But Washington, D.C. was really fucking into this match. I mean, they were only more into – there was only one match that they were more into, and that was the Cena match. Were you surprised that D.C. was big into this match?
I'm very surprised. I mean, they got a decent pop. I mean, it's been a while since the Divas got that kind of a pop.
So Paige and Alicia go in there, and they just do work, right? I mean, they just had a fucking knockdown, drag-out match. It was pretty good for about 8 minutes-ish.
6 minutes plus commercials.
So it's not a long match by any stretch of the imagination, right? But the crowd was crazy fucking into it. And you know what? When we talk about some of the greatest matches of all time, right? Or if we say, for example, favorite WrestleMania matches, some of what makes those matches great is it's the story of the match, it's the performers and their ability to actually, this sounds redundant, but perform in the match, but it's also the crowd reaction. You can have the greatest match in the history of the world, and if you have a silent, dead crowd, it means nothing. It doesn't translate on television. It doesn't translate on my screen. A perfect example of this is WrestleMania 18, Rock versus Hogan, one of my favorite matches of all time. It's not a good match. I'm going to be honest. It's not that great. But the crowd is so crazy into it that it makes you love it. And it just it gives it that X factor. And that's what they did here, and it was really, really fucking good. Paige, surprisingly, wins with a roll-up, right? She reverses, I think it's called an O'Connor roll, right, where Alicia Fox rolls her up, and then Paige just kind of reverses it and rolls through, and she picks up the win, and the roof fucking blew off that place. Did you expect Paige to win with the roll-up, or did you expect her to lose like she's done in every one of these other matches?
I did expect her to lose, and I expected more interference from the Bella Twins. But with that roll-up, followed by a roll-up, was pretty awesome.
And that's interesting, too, because there's something to be said about a roll-up finish, right? Because it means that the purpose of the match isn't to hit your finishing move and then win. The purpose of the match is to win by all costs. So a roll-up kind of establishes that. I mean, you could really go back to what some people will argue, I won't, but some people will argue the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, WrestleMania 3, Steamboat versus Savage. That match ends in a roll-up. It's a small package, right? But it drives home the fact that this is an athletic competition. It's not just, oh, now the match is supposed to end. It can end at any time. I really dug that. One last question before we move on. Was it really good because the crowd was really into it, or was it really good because Paige and Alicia Fox are awesome?
It was good because Alicia Fox and Paige were awesome.
That foxy bitch. Let's talk about the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. You ready to get all balls deep in John Cena?
No, not really, but if we must, we must.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. F you. See what I did there? Because that's what he used to call it. Yeah.
I was gonna say nice segue, dick.
Never give up. Never give up. Let's talk about the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. So, Papo, I think it's safe to say, and I want your opinion on this. I'm sure it's probably a yes. Week to week, since Cena started doing this Open Challenge, probably about 3 months ago, that it's been typically the highlight of Raw.
It's definitely been one of the hotter spots of Raw weekly now. I mean, because he's a fighting champion, and I would say 80% of real wrestling fans love a fighting champion.
Oh yeah, and I'll go one step further, and we were talking about champions, right? Because the U.S. title seemed to be it once back in the day. This was a highly heralded championship. This was a championship that Ric Flair held, and a number of other superstars held, and it was really, really, really important over the years. But it kind of fell out of favor because it was treated like a secondary thing. And I've always maintained that any title or any object can be made significant, so long as we'll say specifically title here. Any title can be made significant or made to be worth the emotional investment. Thank you. The prestige, because it's worth that emotional investment. It makes me give a shit. Any championship can be made to do that. All you need to do is it needs to be defended. Brock Lesnar doesn't count. He's like the anomaly. Right? Like Brock Lesnar's the exception to the rule, as is everything in Brock Lesnar's life. Or Brock Lesnar is to everything else. But generally, the general rule is that, the more a title is defended, the more interesting it becomes, and the more important the person holding that title becomes, and the more invested you are in watching that match, because at any moment that guy could lose. It's not like he can only lose at pay-per-views. He could lose that title on a Raw. He could lose that title on SmackDown. Shit, he could lose it on Superstars. You never know, right? So there's that added bonus, that added benefit of it can happen anytime, so I should really pay attention. And, of course, if anybody's going to elevate a title, John Cena, say what you want to say, love him or hate him, he has a killer presence in WWE. He is bigger than Bruno Sammartino, as much as some people may hate to hear it. Yeah, Bruno had an 8-year title run, but Bruno was, as Punk pointed out, Bruno was defending the title once a week, once a month. These guys are going out there, they're doing house shows that are practically every other day, plus TV 3 times. Well, two of those tapes are done at the same time, but you know what I'm saying. It's a lot to happen. So you know what? I'm going to stop rambling. John Cena, he does the U.S. Open. Are you surprised that he didn't give his typical John Cena spiel before he says, the U.S. Open challenges now, and I'm John Cena, and you can't see me, and 5-knuckle shuffle. It means jerking off. Were you surprised you didn't hear any of that tonight? Or this night, rather?
It was actually quite refreshing, if you will.
Oh, I will.
I wasn't surprised at all.
So Owens comes out, Kevin Owens, that is, and everybody's thinking, holy shit, Kevin Owens is going to answer the challenge. I'm going to be smarky right here, and I'm going to tell you, this is the God's honest truth. I swear on my testicles. I knew Kevin Owens was not really going to challenge. I was like, he's not going to fight. He's going to do that thing where he only fights at pay-per-views, because that's where the money is. That's the smart way to do it. So Owens basically says that he lets them announce him as Cena's as his challenger, and then says, you know what, I'm going to wait until Battleground. Fuck you. I'm going to introduce the real guy who's going to take the challenge. And wouldn't you know it, it's Cesaro. So I got a couple of quick things here. Pablo, did you and I previously discuss in the past couple of weeks what's going on with Tyson Kidd's injury?
We have not discussed that at all.
Okay, so for those, because I'm sure probably you're aware, but for those of you who don't know, basically there was a match. It was a dark match. It was either on Superstars or Raw. It was Tyson Kidd and Samoa Joe, and after the match, Tyson Kidd had a spinal injury. He's recently had spinal surgery in the past week or so, and it's reported, I'm not sure this is, it's been reported that he's been in talk with Steve Austin and Edge, which kind of sounds grim, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be. And it's basically a neck issue. And so he's been out, and the question is, what do you do with Cesaro? Well, clearly you put Cesaro in this fucking match, because Papa, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not, because I'm not, Cesaro kicked fucking ass in this match.
Yes, he did. These two, I mean, honestly, you put Cesaro up against anybody, he can make them look really good. I mean, even with Cena's missed spots, this match was awesome. Point blank awesome.
And as good as the match was, what was your impression of Kevin Owens on the commentary team? Because, I religiously watch NXT, right? And he's done it a couple times. I'm not sure if you've seen him do it, because I don't think he's done it much on the main show. Was this your first time seeing Owens on commentary?
And yes, it was.
What did you think about his performance as a commentator? Like, did you like it, and what was your main takeaway?
Well, it wasn't bad. I mean, he does show that he has potential, and he does have clean mic skills. So he does have a lucrative future as a commentator if he decides to pursue that goal.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, and I know I made this comparison before, and I think I'm the only guy that's making this comparison because of the massive size difference. When you look at, because Kevin Owens is like when I refer to Kevin Owens, he's like Bizarro John Cena, right? Like he's the evil John Cena. John Cena's best opponents were probably, not counting, Owens because it's too soon, would be like Edge and CM Punk. And there's something about Owens that is very CM Punk-esque. And I don't want to say that like Owens is in CM Punk's shadow because that's probably a very smart thing to say, and it's probably inaccurate. But do you see that kind of similar I don't give a fuck mentality with Owens that kind of lends itself to be compared to Punk in a way?
Very similar. I mean, attitude-wise.
Thank you. Yes, attitude, because they're very different in the ring, but attitude-wise, it's similar. So there's a couple of spots here I saw, and I wanted to get your opinion on. What did you think about what was it? Cesaro slingshot Cena into the ropes, but Cena counters with that springboard stunner. What did you think about that spot? Because I was watching, I was like, oh damn!
It was actually pretty cool. And but the way he got this, he has to perfect that. I mean, because he's turning and looking. If he would just go straight back and grab and go straight down like he did the very first time, it would look so much cleaner.
You think it looks sloppy?
Yes.
Clean that shit up, John. Seriously, clean that shit up.
For reals. With a capital Z.
Yeah, John. Clean that shit up. What you want to talk about? Owens taking a swing at Michael Cole at the commentary table? Like I don't remember what Michael Cole said, but he said something that Owens thought was disrespectful, and I thought Owens was gonna get in the ring and distract Cena, but he took off his headset and like swung at Michael Cole. How awesome! Did you catch that, by the way?
Actually, I didn't catch that at all.
Dude, go back and watch it. Michael Cole was like, "What the fuck?" It was. You could tell it was one of those things that wasn't scripted. But sometimes things that are not scripted are what's best, or what comes across as the most entertaining. What do you think about that? Because this is probably like the third time, because I think Cena's busted it out in both Owens matches. But I want to say this is the first time I've seen him do it outside of a match with Kevin Owens, where he hits that sunset flip powerbomb.
Yeah, we can tell that John Cena has been watching the New Japan Wrestling Association or something like that, because they don't do those moves in America.
Dude, it's killer. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty awesome.
I think that should be like an alternate finisher for John Cena. John Cena should be able to have like 10 different finishers.
Yeah, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Oh, jeez. All right. Somebody thinks I'm dick riding. Let's. What do you think about Cena kicking out of the neutralizer? Is that good? Is it bad? What do we think about that?
That was crap. I mean, Cesaro should have been able to take that belt right then and there, especially with the neutralizer. The neutralizer is kind of like a modified pile driver, but he leans forward instead of sitting down.
Well,
just FYI for our peoples.
Cesaro has a history with the U.S. title. I want to say he was U.S. champ for like 200 plus days at one point. I want to say from like 2012-ish to 2013. He was U.S. champ long time, but back when he was with terrible Oksana. So let's talk about the end of the match, and then we'll keep going, because there's still a few things we want to talk about before we end the show. So Cesaro seems like he's moments away, and it's very reminiscent of John Cena versus Adrian Neville a couple weeks ago. Which, by the way, I don't care if Vince doesn't like using first names. He's Adrian Neville, not just Neville. So Cesaro seems like he's moments away from victory with Cena in the sharpshooter when Owens attacks Cesaro, costing him the match and hitting the Swiss Superman with the pop-up powerbomb, and then a pop-up powerbomb for Cena too. Owens then gets on the mic and says that he will be the one to take the U.S. title from Cena at WWE Battleground. How did you feel about the way this match ended? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think it hurt Cesaro? Did you think it hurt Cena? Or do you think everybody was protected?
Well, giving thought on that, it hurt Cesaro, but it actually added more fuel to Cena and Owens.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you here, just for a brief moment. I'm gonna say it didn't hurt Cesaro, right? In the same way that it helped Adrian Neville because he was just about to win.
Oh shit, we're about to fight now.
He was just about to win, theoretically, right? Right? Theoretically, he was just about to win, and then it was taken away from him. So that still makes Cesaro look good. It's just that I saw that as a way to get out of the match while keeping Cesaro in a strengthened position, keeping Cena obviously in a strengthened position without having the title to change hands so they can keep this thing going on with Owens. Do you want to talk about the Bray Wyatt promo about Roman Reigns, or do you want to talk about that 8-man tag match? Your choice.
I don't want to talk about either one, really.
Okay, so since we mentioned that there was a Bray Wyatt backstage promo about Roman Reigns, we'll just quickly mention that there was an 8-man tag match. Lucha Dragons and the Primetime Players versus a New Day and Bo Dallas. What did you? One question before we reveal the end, and we'll move on. What did you think about the addition of the inspirational Bo Dallas to the power of to the paragons of positivity, the New Day? Do you think that this is a good pairing?
It is a good pairing because they're both are promoting positivity, while one tries to get crowd participation, and the other one is a rhythmless nation.
So, Titus O'Neil picks up the win for his team with the spine buster. Now, let's talk about one of the more disappointing segments of the night. What did you think about Dolph and Lana going public?
Yeah, I thought that they already went public, and they kissed in public, and everybody knows that they're a couple in public.
Right? I mean, this happened like she became his valet like I want to say a month and a half ago, but I'm going to say at least a month ago, right? Because I'm a wrestling fan and my memory's terrible. So this doesn't make any sense, right? I don't understand the point of going public because they've been fucking swapping spit in public, as my co-host says, for quite some time. So basically what happens here is that Dolph and Lana come out, and Lana, she just can't stop doing that awkward laugh thing, which is really getting on my nerves. And they tell the world that they have become more than just friends. Surprise! Spoiler! And then Rusev Machka, right? And the fucking badass that Rusev is, he comes out with Summer Rae. And did you notice that Rusev has no idea how crutches work?
Yeah.
Like, and I love Rusev, right? I think he's one of the most underrated talents that they have right now. And, man, I really don't want to point out that he looked like a moron with those crutches, but he did. Like, his left leg, what was it? I have it written down here. Okay, so he broke his right ankle, or his right foot, depending on which report you're reading. And you should put the crutch under your right arm, right, to stabilize the weight so you're balanced, right, because that's fucking how shit works. But he's got his right foot in a boot, and he's got the crutch under his left arm. Yeah, about that. That doesn't really make any sense. Although, good news, I feel like we're just a few weeks away from him healing up. So let's talk about what Rusev says, and then we can talk about the whole thing afterwards. Rusev says that Lana was like a cold fish when they made love. And then Summer Rae accused Lana of being a gold digger, but she ain't messing with a broke Ziggler. And she slaps Lana. A cat fight ensues, and the segment comes to a close as Rusev and Summer Rae leave. Tell the people what you thought about this from opening to close, man. What? She ain't messing with a broke Ziggler.
Oh, she's a gold digger. But she ain't messing with no broke Ziggler. That was awesome, dude. That was really awesome.
You like that? Call me, Vince.
Yeah.
I got jokes. Like
And
your Divas division, full of jokes. What'd you think about this, man?
Well, again, they came out public, and Summer Rae came out in public and made fun of the gold digger, messing around with our Hollywood Ziggler.
Hollywood, Florida, not to be confused with some other less interesting Hollywood. So, how is it? And let me ask you this, right? Because we'll talk about this, and then we'll briefly transition into the end of the show because we don't have so much time left. How is it that Rusev and Lana have a segment? I want to say about a month ago, maybe about 2 months ago, where Rusev and Lana just have that falling out, right after the I Quit match, and Lana basically breaks up with him, and they have that. Rusev does that thing where, like, I'll take you back, just tell me that you're sorry and you were wrong. How was that so good? And we've gone from so good to so bad with this fucking segment. I mean, god damn, this was terrible. How does this even happen?
They introduced Summer Rae.
Is that it? Is she the catalyst for all things terrible in WWE?
She's the San Andreas Vault of the WWE.
Summer Rae, you're fired. Fired. Wait, did you see that movie? Was that movie any good?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about Dean Ambrose talking backstage to Roman Reigns, or do you want to talk about Adrian Neville versus Sheamus?
Let's talk about Adrian Neville versus Sheamus.
Well, I would, but there's not much to talk about because that match was too fucking short, and Sheamus won with a brogue kick. How about that main event no DQ tag team match? Because that's really all we have before we talk about our allegedly award-winning segment, The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly. Which, you know what, Papo? Let me take a break and throw these people a few plugs. You okay with that?
Go ahead, plug away.
Listen, you bastards. If you've hung around this long, I'm going to tell you a few things. Number one, you're amazing and you're wonderful, and I want to make babies with you. Number two, I'd like you to go ahead and like, subscribe to the video, comment, follow us go to the fucking Facebook page, send us an email for God's sakes. Tell us how amazingly pretty you think my blue eyes and my beard is, and how much you like Batman, because we all like Batman. While you're at it, send us a question about wrestling. Maybe it's a topical question. Maybe it's like, hey, Ted and Pablo, do you think anybody else body slammed Andre the Giant? Ask us some wrestling shit, man. That's what it's there for. Damn. Oh, you know what, Papa? I forgot to mention the Patreon page. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in making a donation, you want to help us increase the production value, you want to become a more interactive viewer, you can go to patreon.com/TedandPapo, and you can go there and you can see what we're asking for. It's not a whole lot. And it's basically going to help us cover production costs and make this a better program for you, for me, which is a podcast, webcast, YouTube show, which is for the fans, by the fans, and of the fans. I fucked that up, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. While you're at it, go to the Facebook page. Tell us how awesome you are, and then when we put stuff up, you can be like, hey, man, this is how I feel about it. Let's see. I mentioned email. Did I mention Twitter?
At the beginning of the show.
I don't know how Twitter works. Send us some shit on Twitter and show me what I need to do because I'm a moron and technology is not my strong suit. Now, Papo, are you ready to talk about this main event no DQ tag team match, or so they tell us it's a main event no DQ tag team match, because I think they might be full of bunk.
Tell us why you feel they're full of bunk.
Well, first let me tell you what happened, or who's involved, and then we'll talk about why I think they're full of bunk. Fair?
Fair.
Boola boola. So we got Rollins accompanied by J&J Security. So it's Rollins and Kane versus Ambrose and Reigns, and it's a no DQ main event tag team match. Now, here's where I have my problem. And I guess it's not my problem, it's just a problem in general. Fuck you, it's just a problem. Deal with it. Get on my
Internet rage.
Rage. So it's a no DQ tag team match. Now, Papa, follow me on this one. You ready?
Gotcha.
No DQ stands for no disqualifications, right?
Right.
Which means you can do whatever the fuck you want with the exception of bringing a gun to the ring, right?
Right.
Okay, so if, let's say, you and I are in a tag team, and I decide, you know what? Fuck waiting on being tagged. I'm going to come in the ring, and we're just going to magically make it a tornado tag where nobody stands on the apron like jackasses. Because it's a no DQ match, I can get away with that, right?
Correct.
So why the fuck doesn't WWE know? Oh, I caught it, and then I dropped it. Why doesn't WWE know this shit? Like, why do I have to explain this shit to you? If it's a no DQ tag match, nobody needs to stand on the apron to wait for the tag because the ref isn't going to give you the 5 count when you come in and stand in the ring too long because, oh, surprise, it's a no DQ fucking tag match. I don't know. It irritates the fuck out of me. They did the same thing at, what's the pay-per-view that used to be Backlash? Payback? Is that what they're calling it now? It's the one in between. Yeah. Okay. They did this at Payback right before the Shield disbanded, right, where it was Evolution versus the Shield, and it was a no-DQ 6-man tag team match, but everybody stood on the apron like a bunch of jackasses, and it made no fucking sense to me. It's no DQ. There's no need for that. You might as well just do whatever the fuck you want. Now that I've gotten that out of my system, let's talk about the actual match.
Goose Faba.
So before we get to the interference, up until the interference, Papa, what's your takeaway on this match? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it worthy of the main event spot?
Well, yes and no. And
please elaborate. Please.
Let me elaborate.
Let me elaborate. Well, I will. Just fucking do it.
The elaboration is
Samoan motherfucker.
Dick.
I am what I eat. Wait, no, that's not how. So tell us.
Well, I say yes to the fact that this had potential to be an awesome match. No DQ tag team match, or as me and Tedski here know it as the Tornado Tag Match.
Boom. I like the way you think. Keep going.
But then no, because then what was the point of having to tag it in? They should have been all four in the ring just going at it like nobody's business.
Get
in the ring, out the ring, fuck a tag.
Get him.
So if they would have kept with that format, this would have been perfect main event status.
So no. We'll go with no. A resounding no. Let's go with that. So let's transition into what happened at the very end, and then we can talk about what happens afterward, and then we can talk about our award winning. Oh shit, people! I forgot to tell you. Stay tuned, because we're about to finish talking about the main event, and then we're going to talk about the allegedly award winning segment, the good, the bad, the fugly, where we talk about what we thought was good, bad, and fucking ugly. Now, I forgot that plug earlier. Sorry, not sorry. So Reigns at one point basically punches everybody in the mouth with a excuse me. I have it here in my notes. Reigns hits everyone and their mother with a Superman punch. It's at this point that Bray Wyatt arrives, and they do the old ECW Sabu trick where the lights go down, lights go up. I got to be honest, Papo, I'm a mark for bringing the lights down and bringing the lights up, and then someone's in the ring. Is it just me, or is that everybody?
It's everybody. Everybody loves it. Especially when lights go out, you hear a big pop. And then when you find out who the secret person is, even louder pop. It's fucking awesome.
Dude, it is totally awesome. So Bray Wyatt, lights go down, lights go up. Holy shit, it's Bray Wyatt. It's the devil. Bray Wyatt arrives, kicks the shit out of Roman Reigns, then leaves. And this doesn't end the match because, again, it's a no DQ match. And I really think that the only reason why they made it a no DQ is that so Bray Wyatt could interfere. Because otherwise, there was nothing that they did that was really no disqualification worthy. So Rollins, let's see. Rollins wins because first Kane chokeslams Ambrose, and then it's followed up with a pedigree by Rollins for the win. After the match, Rollins has a table set up in the corner and attempts to powerbomb Ambrose through it until Reigns comes in, and he comes in the ring and he clears house, punches and Superman fucking spears and shit for everybody. And just like Lesnar, he is outnumbered and outgunned, and in the end, Roman Reigns is the one who's put through the table and left helpless and unconscious. After the match, Bray Wyatt comes out again and hits the helpless Roman Reigns with his sister Abigail and stands tall over his nemesis. And this is pretty much how the show comes to a close. So, how did you feel about the end of the match and the aftermath?
Well, the aftermath actually played into the Roman Reigns and Wyatt feud, so that was perfect. I mean, it fit into the storyline, and Super Uso gets hit with the Sister Abigail?
Yep.
But it looked like it really hurt. I was like, he's dead. I looked over to my nephew just like this. Frankie, he's dead.
Dude, he's dead dead. That's how dead he was. Yeah, man, I like it. The introduction of Bray Wyatt interfering, it's always a good thing. And like I said earlier, I really feel like this was the only reason why there was a no DQ match, just so Wyatt could interfere and cost them the match. That being said, I enjoyed it. It was okay. Now, there were two matches that I feel that were worth talking about. What was match of the night? John Cena versus Cesaro or Paige versus Alicia Fox? If you had to rank them.
If I had to rank it, it would be John Cena and Cesaro.
Boom. I like the way you think, motherfucker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us long enough, and if you stroked your dick long enough to hang in there with us until we got to this point, it is time for the good, the bad, and the fugly. Insert sound effect here. Wait a minute.
Ba-ba-bong.
I'm being told by the judges that we are fucking broke asses and we don't have real sound effects. Okay, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the fugly. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here and if you're not familiar with the segment, it's very simple. Papa and I briefly discussed what we thought was the good, the bad, and the fugly, not to be confused with that incredible Clint Eastwood movie that happens to be one of those Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns. Papa, why don't you hit us? You go first. Tell us about what you thought was good, bad, and fugly, and then I'll hit him with mine, and then we'll close out the show.
Well, my good was the big spin on Cena. That was awesome. That match was actually pretty good.
Wasn't that? I hate to break you up. I hate to cut you off. Wasn't that a big swing into a sharpshooter? Because there were a number of like throwbacks to. A kind of like nods to Tyson Kidd, like Cesaro even wore like an armband that said Kid, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the first attempt for the big spin was countered and then turned into was it a monkey flip? Was it?
That's racist.
Shut up, Dick. But the second big spin came off through really good, and Cena hit that and actually sold that really good. That was my good.
All right, what's your bad?
Okay, this week the bad and the fugly actually came in a tie.
Oh shit!
It was the Big Show coming out to the ring. Period.
And what was the? Oh, so that was the same, right? That was your bad and your fugly, just that one thing.
Yes, I mean everything else topped that. Even the 8-man tag topped it. But right now, Big Show coming out and having a match is my bad and fugly.
Yeah, man. Nobody wants to see Big Show anymore. So let's talk about. I'm going to briefly go over my good, bad, and fugly, and then we'll do a few plugs, and then we'll get out of here. So my good, Cesaro versus Cena. That whole thing was fucking awesome. I enjoyed every second of it, and they had me. Like at one point, I was like, "Oh shit, Cesaro's going to win." And then in the back of my lizard brain, it was like, but that doesn't make any sense because they have to have something to feud over between Cena and Owens. But, yeah, no, that whole match was fucking awesome. If it was at a pay-per-view, this could go into match of the year contender. Not saying it is match of the year, but it could be considered. But I kind of have this bias against such matches on Raw because I just feel like if you're going to have those matches, have it at a pay-per-view. Otherwise, having it on Raw is kind of giving it away for free. Please pay no attention to the phone behind the host as it continues to ring. We have Neville versus Sheamus. That's my bad. It was too short, right? Could have been. Please stop it. Oh my God, you're the worst. Hold on, I'm gonna mute this because they might be saying important stuff. Papa, ramble on for a moment or two.
Moment or two. How was that? Okay. So obviously Vince is trying to call my co-host right now.
Oh
That
my
is
God,
awesome.
Vince, I'm busy. You're not as important as you used to be. I'm drunk. Get away from me. Sorry, Vince. I'm busy. Where were we? My bad. It was Neville. My bad and my bad. See what I did there? Double entendres. So Neville versus Sheamus. This is only my bad because it was too short, right? God damn, these guys can tear it up, and I really wanted to see them tear it up, but they weren't given like any time at all to do so, and it was very disappointing, and it made my penis shrink, and I was not happy. I wanted my penis to get nice and hard because I wanted to see some good old-fashioned wrestling, no judging. My Fugly was the main event apron tag nonsense, right? Like, the match was okay. I understand why they made it the main event. I don't think it was worthy of the main event as far as match caliber, but I understand how they wanted to end the show with the whole continuing the Wyatt Reigns saga. So I understand why they made that the final match. I just think that the whole it's a no DQ tag match, therefore we're gonna wait to be tagged in is just fucking stupid and silly, and it's just an insult to our intelligence, and it just doesn't make any sense within kayfabe, which is kayfabe is like the silly faux rule of the wrestling world. Papo, I believe we pretty much did it all, but put the pieces to the puzzle, as a Fat Joe once said.
Yeah. Thank you for hanging on this long. We appreciate you watching. We just got through with the allegedly award-winning Good, the Bad, and the Fugly segment.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodbye. Papo, any last words you want to add before we get the hell out of here and maybe we can eat some dinner?
Thank you for watching. Tune in next week. Same Ten and Papo time, same Ten and Papo channel.
Well, if you subscribed, you would know that. So don't be that guy. Don't be fucking lazy. Subscribe to the channel. Like, comment. Go to the Facebook page. Tweet us at Twitter and tell me how to work this shit, because I'm fucking clueless. Go to Patreon page. All those things are in the description box below. I'm lazy. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Thank you for joining us. Same bad time, same bad channel. # WWE Bitches Been Crazy. And we are out of here.